Greetings and welcome back to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment. We are in the Q&A portion of the show. We just finished talking about the lovely Leica 50-200mm lens for your Lumix camera. It's a peach. It's a beautiful lens. I am very, very happy with it. I was just showing off a bunch of zoo photos, and let's see if anybody here wants to know anything else about the zoo photos. Let's see here. What do we get going on here in the chat room? Pull this up on here like so. If you have a question, you know what to do. Stick it into the comments. Make sure that you put @PhotoJoseph in it, like Andrew Byrne did there, so that I know that you are trying to say something to me. Otherwise, I will scan through these and try and find some questions in here. And Mark Sheffin says, just got through today my 45-200 f4-5.6. Great lens as well. I was trying to figure out the name of this small creature, and someone had to point out that it was a chipmunk. I know it's a chipmunk. I think calling it a squishy rodent thing is a much better name. It's kind of like the crazy chicken. This zoo, they had a crazy chicken as well. For those of you who have seen my shows where I've shot tests up in the wildlife safari, you know who the crazy chicken is, and they have a crazy chicken in Detroit as well. All right, let's see here. Gorilla's sitting there like you were instructing him on how to pose, right? That gorilla is like just sitting there perfectly, like chin up, chin up, chin up. Thank you very much. Shot. Beautiful. I'm kidding about that last part. Let's see here. What's going on? Oh, people talking about stream is fine. Nobody has any questions. Oh, well, maybe this isn't going to be a question show. Somebody's got to have questions. In-depth photo and video wants to know when the lens giveaway is. Ha! This one's mine. You know, when the channel gets big enough to support doing things like buying gear to give away or convincing companies that it's worth giving away gear, I would love to do that. I would love to do that, but I can certainly understand companies not wanting to do that until there's a much bigger reach than I have. But, you know, we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're ramping up, so you never know what could happen in the future. Hopefully, we'll be able to do that at some point. I would love to. I know a lot of channels do giveaways, and that's obviously great. It's really nice to get some free gear that way. It does bring a lot of exposure to the channel, which is awesome. Brings some good exposure to the brand. But, you know, it's got to be worthwhile for the company providing the gear. Communal borrow. No, this is not going out on loan, sorry. Adrian Adrian says, is the 200mm f2.8 better at f4.0? That's a good question. I can't answer that, though, because I no longer have the 2.8 to compare to. Is it better at f4? Logic would dictate that it would be. Right? Typically, a lens is not at its best when it's wide open. Typically at its best when it's stopped down a little bit. So based off that logic, the 200-2.8 at f4 is probably ever so slightly better than this 50-200 when it's at 200 at f4, because f4 at that point is wide open. So I would say, logically speaking, yes, it probably is. Practically speaking, I can't because I don't have the two side by side to compare them. But that's a good question. That's a very good question. I think somebody who actually does scientific tests would have to test that one out for you. Nobody else has any questions. Well, that's going to be a short Q&A then. It's going to be one of those Q&As where we don't really have a Q&A. So, all right, we're going to give you a little countdown, like last chance. Any other questions? 3, 2, 1. No? No other questions? Okay, Mark's got a question. Oh, here we go. Oh, there we go. See, I knew if I gave you guys enough time, there'd be some. Burns Tech, a bit off topic. Any chance you could have someone on a future show and talk about astrophotography using telescopes? Oh, unless you already did and I missed it. No, I haven't done that. I do have a friend. Wasn't he on the show where we talked about astrophotography, but not using telescopes, just using standard gear? That was a while ago. I'll link to that here or down there. But not using telescopes. I do actually have a friend in the Bay Area who is a big telescope nut and has been doing astrophotography through that. So yes, I know exactly who to call. So okay, I'll work on that. Burns. I like it. It's a good idea. Mark Peel, are color rendering, contrast, and saturation equivalent to the 12-60? Again, haven't done a side-by-side, but I haven't seen any difference. I haven't looked at them and gone, oh, this one's noticeably different. No, I think pairing between those three lenses, the 8-18, 12-60, and 50-200, unscientifically, looking at my photos and video through those three lenses, I don't look at any one of those lenses and say, oh, that actually looks a bit different than the other ones, which is good, right? The fact that your question has not come up in my head tells me that I haven't seen a difference. So no real difference there. I think they're all pretty equally awesome and pretty equivalent, which is important, right? You don't want your look to change as you go from lens to lens. They're all designed around the same time. This is a trio of lenses that came out starting with the 12-60 and then the 8-18 and now most recently the 50-200. I think that these three lenses are designed to be a cohesive look and feel. So they all have a very, very identical, very, very similar look, physical look to them. I would say that the color rendering is virtually identical across them. Great question, though. Great question. Jason Papazivelio says, is the 7-14mm still worth it in 2018? You know, that's a good question. Let me see price-wise what the difference is, because I don't know, but we're going to find out. So let's we'll just go up here. So we're looking at the, oops, come here, wrong, no, cancel. We're looking for the Leica 8-18, which is an incredible lens. I absolutely love this lens, especially for vlogging. Okay, this is a higher price one. That's $1,100. Okay, so now let's do the B&H photo again, and we'll look at the 7-14. That is not a Leica, so we're just going to Panasonic 7-14, and there it is. So that is an f4 800. Okay, so it's not massive price difference. Let's see here. So that's an f4 all the way through, isn't it? This one's 2.8 to f4, so a little bit faster at the wide end. Faster at the wide end, ever so slightly wider at 7mm versus 8, but that's pretty minimal. Both aspherical. Neither of them has OIS because it's not needed when you're super wide like that. I would, ooh, that's a good one. I think I would say this would be the better one to go for, going for the Leica. For the $300 difference, you gain a little bit on the wide end. It's a Leica lens, so it is likely to be sharper. I have not done a side-by-side, but I will say that since I got the 8-18, I haven't touched the 7-14. I've been using the 8-18 for real estate. I've been using it for vlogging. I've been using it for basically everything where I need something wide. I would say spend the extra $300 and get that. That would be my recommendation on there. If you were going to buy, let's do this too. If you wanted to buy one of these lenses, but you could not afford the Leica lens right now, but you need to buy the wide lens for whatever reason, I would say instead of just spending the $800 on the 7-14, if you've got $800 to spend, put some of that aside, buy a used one. Buy a used one and keep saving until you can get the Leica one. And then you'll be able to sell your 7-14 used for probably pretty much what you paid for it, especially if you only do it like in a year or so, because you've already taken the depreciation hit. Sell it then, make up those last few $100 that you need, and get the 8-18. That would be my recommendation. This 8-18 it's a beautiful lens. It has a really good feel to it. It looks great, especially when the camera is level. You get almost no distortion around the edges. Yeah, that's going to be my recommendation for you. Buy used on the 7-14 and save up your pennies until you can get the 8-18 if that's what you want. That's going to be my thing. Okay. Oh, so-called someone is pointing out as well that the 8-18 is worth it just for the weather sealing and filter thread. That is a good point. I forgot about the weather sealing and the filter thread, actually. That's very true. The 8-18 has a front filter thread on there, so I usually have a variable ND on here for shooting video. The 7-14, you are correct. You cannot do that. So there you go. Yet another reason, and the weather sealing is always a good reason. So perfect. Thank you for that. Let's see here. Let me scroll back a little bit. What did I miss? Talking about the astrophotography again. Am I using the Webcaster X2 in my studio shoot? You mean for this right now? No, we're not streaming with the Webcaster X2. We're streaming with the Pearl. We're still streaming with the Pearl 2. I haven't integrated the Mini yet. I was supposed to do that this morning, but I ran out of time. But the Pearl Mini, we're going to start streaming the show with the Pearl Mini very shortly so that I can do a full evaluation of that. But no, we are not using the X2. We're using the same company from Epiphan, but much higher end hardware. Okay, let me see if I missed anything here. Otherwise, we're going to bail out of this. If there's no other questions coming up. Okay, I guess that's it. Hey guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I knew if I waited long enough to be questions. Maybe that's what I should start doing, is taking like a 3-minute break between the main show and the Q&A show to give you guys, people will probably leave. I gotta figure that one out. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you on Wednesday. Already got Wednesday's show lined up. Wednesday, we are talking, let me make sure I got the right show. Wednesday, we are talking about, yes, the Aperture Amaran Light. I'm not sure where to put this to bring it up on here. Oh well, we're not going to do that. Anyway, Aperture Amaran, it is a LED panel. We're going to be talking about that. That is all set up for Wednesday's show. So if you're interested in LED lighting, that'll be a fun one to look at. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.